Hey, how's it going? I'm Pastor Terry. I'm the pastor of First Baptist Church here in Plano, Illinois. And I want to welcome you to Through the Week. It's our Tuesday edition, and we're talking about the Sermon on the Mount, what Jesus had to say about how we get along with others. So, without further ado, let's jump right on in it. Jesus says in Matthew 5:21 and 22, "You've heard that it was said to the people long ago, 'You should not murder. And anyone who murders will be subject to judgment. But I tell you that anyone who is angry with a brother or a sister will be subject to judgment. Again, anyone who says to a brother or a sister, 'Raka,' is answerable to the court, and anyone who says, 'You fool,' will be in danger of fire from hell." Wow, fire from hell. That's kind of rough. But what Jesus is trying to get at is how we deal with other people. And basically, it's how we deal with other people emotionally. How do we look at others in their actions and in their thoughts? How do we do that with our own thoughts and our own actions? One, we shouldn't get angry. I mean, there's not a whole lot of stuff that tells you don't get angry. Well, I'm lying. There's all kinds of psychological stuff out there that tells you not to get angry, but all those how-to books, well, they just how-to me to death. But the point that I'm trying to make is the Lord is telling us how to get along with others. And in a day and time when that doesn't seem to be too easy to do, I think these are good words. Words that tell us that if we got something against our brother or our sister, we need to take it to them. We need to uh, let them know and how we feel. And maybe we need to say we're sorry. Maybe we need to ask them to forgive us. Maybe we need to forgive them. And sometimes that's much harder to do than it is to ask for forgiveness. So Jesus says, if you got something that's a problem between you and your brother and sister, uh, you need to get it settled before you do any other thing. And he uses the sacrifice, something which is your worship to God. He uses that as, well, I don't know, a vehicle to let you know how important this is. Because your allegiance and your worship to God is paramount. It's over everything else. But Jesus says if you have, you're going to the temple, you're going to make a sacrifice, but you got something wrong between you and your brother or your sister, settle it first. Then come and make your sacrifice. Then come bring your gift. The other thing is that he uses a term called raka, R-A-C-A, and basically it means someone who's empty-headed or somebody who's foolish, and that he says is wrong. To look at somebody and go, "You dummy," or "stupid," that kind of stuff. That's wrong. It's wrong to think that of others. I got to take my glasses off because of the glare. But here we go. If you're angry with someone and you're so angry that all you can do is think of names to call them, you need to get that right. Now, all of this talk about anger and getting things right, it led me to something else, a different passage. And I want to go to it real quick. It's something in James. James 1, verse 19 and 20 says, "My dear brothers and sisters, pay attention to what I say. Everyone should be quick to listen. They should be slow to speak. They should be slow to get angry. A man's anger does not produce the kind of life God wants. My brothers and sisters, here we go. Be quick to hear, be slow to speak, and be slow to anger. Because anger doesn't create the life that God wants. Today in our society we have a lot of quick tongues and a lot of very quick anger that's happening around. Um, One of the things that I hear about a lot has to do with the Confederacy and uh, Southern tradition and rituals and artifacts and all of that sort of stuff. And I get it. I really do. And this is, I went to college in Memphis and I've lived in the South pretty much all my life. But I do get it. And this is why. What I hear today, I hear a lot of anger. But that anger is betraying something that's far deeper. It's a hurt. It's a pain. I mean, a deep, deep pain. It's not something that has simply been manufactured for this day and age. No, it's one of those kinds of pains that has been generational, and it has been taught and retaught and taught again, so that even though the experience may not be there in the present day, the experience is there in how it's been transmitted generationally. It's still a deep and abiding. It's a wound, son. It is a hurt, a deep cut, a deep cut. And as I hear my brothers and sisters talking about how deeply pained they are and how deeply wounded they are, I'm reminded of something that I have felt and something that uh, my parents, uh, friends have felt. And that is the deep wound that they received from the United States government in taking them into internment camps in California, and how they were stripped of all of their belongings and how they were thrown in there, even though they were born here in the United States and they were American citizens. Their eyes were slanted and their skin was a little bit dark and they didn't use forks. So I get that. Those internment camps are still there. As a matter of fact, many of them are used as sightseeing tours. But I don't want to digress. What I want to, my reason for saying that is I have an understanding of this hurt and this anger. I have an understanding of it. I don't relate to it entirely. I can't. But what I do relate to is this. Whatever the artifact may be, whatever the ancient tradition might have been, whatever relic, it's not worth continuing this pain and suffering of my brothers and sisters. If getting rid of this stuff will take away that pain and begin the healing that needs to begin, okay. Yeah, okay. I mean, To be honest with you, our society is quite derogatory. We cut people down for a laugh. Some of that's not very funny, but we do it just the same. Maybe it's time to be more considerate, a little bit more kind, more gentle, more genteel, more civility. If my brothers and sisters can be healed by this, I'm all for it. Some things are they're just ridiculous in terms of the way that, how far this pendulum is swinging, and it will swing the other way, and that's something to be watchful for, because although I may feel that I would rather have that relic gone than have my brothers and sisters maintain that deep wound that they've had all their lives. Well, there are those who don't feel that way, and we must be mindful of them also, because they're also being hurt. So, friends, let's be quick to hear, and let's be slow to speak. Don't just throw out your opinions, but contemplate what you're listening to. And please, by all means, be slow to anger, because the anger of man does not do the work of God. Well, I'm out of here. I'll talk to you later, okay? I hope you come back and visit with me. If you need some info, the next slide is going to let you know where to get in touch with us. I hope you will. See ya.